We'll push them all.
Hey, me
Every
push
single one of
buttons.
them.
That's what I do. I love it.
Is this thing on?
See, because I figured out now that if I go live first, then it's all good. It's all pathetic.
But it cuts their
Crazy
audio.
ass lag in the beginning. It's like,
does.
okay, cool, whatever. That's cute. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. Hello, everyone. Welcome to UCR Live. We are here. It's a lovely little. We're like
Yeah.
diagonally hat adjacent and stuff. It's we're living the dream, and just we're here. We're here. It's another Thursday/Friday. I feel like this week has just flown by. I don't know
I
where this week's
know.
gone. I got back
Yeah.
from overseas, and it's just like, okay, this, and you're like, oh, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
What else is happening in the world? Everything. I don't know where I've been, who I've been, what's going on, but I'm here. I'm here.
Know
I'm
where
ready.
you've been?
I think I'm awake. I don't know what's happening. It's like, you know when life just kind of goes, all right, you've had your time. Now it's time to get back to normal, and this like throws you bags and bags of shit. You're like, okay, cool. Then I took a breath, and it's Friday. Like, oh, been back home for over a week. That's nice. It's exciting. That's exciting. Tim, we haven't seen your smiling face for a little while. How are you, sir?
Yeah, no, I know. The last time I tried to chime in, we were having technical difficulties from.
Yeah, that
from
was
the
my
East
fault.
Coast. No,
That was my fault.
The schedule's just like now that like summer's approaching. The schedule, like I had to put something else on the calendar today, and I opened up the book, and it was like I filled in the last available weekend until September. So it's like we're just nonstop, and I just keep getting more items added to the bottom of that list, and just keeping myself busy.
Yeah,
Having a hot boy summer. He's gonna have a hot boy summer.
Don't
Oh,
get
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
about that.
No, because a lot of it is things I've already done that I didn't do well enough the first time. So it's like, well, we go back and retry that. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So
that's all right. Look, it's life. That's life. Life is
that
repetitive.
is, that's it. It's life.
We get that. We get that. The lovely Christina is here with us today. She's changed locations on us again. She's just
I
keeping
did.
us on our toes, Christina. I love it.
Yeah, well, like I said last week, I was watching the Ranger game, and now obviously this week I don't have any Ranger game to watch.
No Rangers for you this week.
That was
It's all right. How's your week?
disappointment.
How's your week been, my love? What have you been up to? What's going on?
It's been a dumpster fire, but yeah, everything's been great. Work is just, it's all I really complain about. It's just how much work I have to do at work. Like it's been I'm on a new task, so it's just things are piling up. And I should be working right now, but fuck it. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time.
You need
It's
your
not worth
therapy
stress.
session. Remember?
Exactly. I need to see my therapist, so I'm here.
We've all.
I am clocking in.
This is
for my
our.
session.
We've all agreed. This is our weekly rage dump. Like
Yeah.
so we don't
But
go post.
I said the exact same thing. I was like, I got to make sure I'm on tonight. I got to blow off some steam tonight. So I just
Got the feeling.
I had to make sure I was on.
It's a pity it's not really a controversial week this week. It's all pretty
Not
fluffy,
really.
but we'll get
I'll
offended
I'll
about
get caught.
something.
Yeah, I will pick somebody off.
He's got
We'll
his
be
arm
upset
up.
about something. Oh, and someone who's always a little bit feisty is our lady V. How are you, V? What's going on?
Darling, how are you? Long time no see. I mean,
I know, right?
Didn't we just do this?
We did just do this. We'll talk about that in a sec. So what have you been up to?
Week. I've lots of work. Getting ready to go to New York next week. Won't be on next
Yeah, girl.
Thursday. Just so you know. Oh, that's it.
Everyone's
I
doing
know.
New York trips.
I know.
You're
Yeah,
you have
Jeffrey's actually coming.
you have imminent Jeffrey. Good luck to you,
I know,
Christina.
right?
I'm so excited.
Good
So excited to see
luck.
him. No, it's gonna be so good.
You show him a
Very
good
fun.
time. He needs it.
Yeah,
Oh, he's staying in such a nice place. Forget it. He's gonna have.
yeah. He's a
What is
fancy
like-
lady these days. We
But
just
it's
don't know.
funny.
We
It's
just
like
don't know
he
what's
kept
going on.
asking. He kept asking. He's like, so where should I stay? What should I do? But I'm like, I was like, I don't vacation on Long Island. Like, this is not, like, I don't know the
Oh,
best beaches. I don't know, like, I know some beaches. Hi.
Doxy's in New York.
someone else
The
is
Big
in the Big
Apple.
Apple.
Hey,
Dugsy. Get
Doug.
it.
Why are you in New York, Dogsy? But yeah, it's just,
Everywhere.
I was like, I don't fucking know. So then
I
I just
know,
started
right?
searching the Hamptons and Montauk and Long Beach, and I was like, all right. And he could not make up his fucking mind. If any one of you ever tried to plan a trip for or with Jeff, God bless you, because he does not know what he wants, when he wants it. It's, oh my God, it was like pulling
I lived in
teeth
his
like
I
all
lived
up
in
in the
his
day.
house for
So
5 weeks. That was intense.
yeah, well, you know what? That's probably easier
You
because
were a
he could
scale
not
Friday.
decide. Yeah, yeah, he
No,
could not
you got to
decide.
understand. It's like I don't like it that when you're not here. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Like, yeah.
That's not my fault.
He could
It's not
just
my fault.
marry you and you could stay
I
here.
know, no, I don't think that. I don't think the world would survive that. It's a bit. How you going?
Just on
It
paper.
could be a paper, yeah.
Out for work again. I wouldn't be here if the money wasn't good. Story of
Maybe
my
you could get
life.
Steve a job so he can be there more often.
Yeah, everyone,
Yeah.
I am coming. I am coming back. You know, I'm just like a once a year event. Recently, it's like, and I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm
And
back.
I'm back.
It's like a bad case of psoriasis or something. I keep
Oh,
coming
we
back.
used to,
Oh God.
hey, I have
Itchy and annoying.
psoriasis.
Itchy and annoying is my
Scabbing, inflamed.
Yeah.
scabby boy. It's a scabby
All
just
right.
existence. That's enough. That's enough.
For
Yeah,
somebody
so
who
Vera,
suffers from psoriasis, let's talk
Christina's
about
calling her.
yeah,
that. Yeah, I'm itchy.
she feels victimized, so we'll stop.
I do. I really do.
I feel
It's
victimized.
cleared up. I don't have it right now.
We've
So,
all
you
had
know.
a little, we've all had a little binge. It's all good. We feel you. This is Vera and I. It's like old times. Vera and I's second live of the week. We're like,
I know, right?
living our
Yeah.
dreams.
Jeez. Aren't we?
We went all the
fans?
way back to 1962 with assigned
I
seating and
know.
reviewed Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. That was fun. That was
It
a
was
fun
Wow.
one. Yeah, we had a good
Nice.
time. We always have a good time. But you know, that is the past. We should jump into the present, right?
I guess so. Tis in.
Tim's ready. Tim's always ready for this
Tim's
part.
ready. Tim's
Here we
on
go.
fire.
Hot
Fingers on.
load of hot topics.
I said tits.
We
Yeah.
need to throw some water on Tim.
Well, look, it's undeniable that that's
Either
really
way,
what we
though.
want to talk about. All right,
All right.
hot topics, hot topics, hot topics. We picked this ages ago when this was going viral, but Baby Reindeer is back in the headlines again with its alleged inspiration, Fiona Harvey, who apparently inspired the character of Martha, now trying to sue Netflix for a cool $50 million.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yes. Good luck is what I say to her as well. So she is accusing them of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, gross negligence, and violations of Harvey's rights of publicity arising out of brutal lies the defendants told about her in the television series Baby Reindeer. It is a 34-page lawsuit that breaks down all the instances in which the writer Richard Gadd has defamed her, suggesting that she sexually assaulted him, which she denies, alleging that she served time in prison for stalking him. And the statement says, in fact, Harvey has never pled guilty to any crime. Harvey is not a convicted criminal. It doesn't mean she wasn't accused, though, right? Right? So semantics, but
Yeah.
I picked this. Like I think we all saw this coming a long time ago, but isn't she suing the wrong person?
Well, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
I think isn't this supposed to be a fictionalized version of a real event? Therefore, he can make up anything he
Well,
wants?
they are the whole point of the lawsuit is that they have used the based on a true story.
Uh-huh.
You know,
But they also didn't identify her by name until she came forward and identified herself. right?
Right.
So
Allegations are allegations, right? So until you
can
give
this
them
be
credence.
intentional damages if she wasn't identified in any way, shape, or form?
Okay. Yeah. Tim, you was going to say?
No, yeah. Well, you had asked, if she's suing the wrong person. I mean, I get Netflix is obviously the platform that ran it, but right, I would think that she would have a better case of suing him as the writer and the supposed victim of all of this, or alleged victim of all of it. But yeah, I mean, Vera makes a great point. Like, nobody knew who this woman was. I'm sure we all did what I did and was started googling the shit out of the case while we were watching the show. But I never saw her name mentioned in anything that I looked up, and just that again, like what Vera said, it was based on actual events, which I've come after. Ironically, after the Conjuring story, which we were talking about before we came on, I'm a big Ed and Lorraine Warren guy. I've read their books, I followed their cases and all that. And when I found out how much of the Conjuring movie was fabricated, when that was based on true story, I was like, wow. I was like, okay, maybe that term from now on moving forward, based on a true story, is be taken very, very lightly.
Loosely.
Moving forward. So whenever I see that, I know that something has transpired. But again, I looked up the case, but never saw anything about her until she decided to pop on Piers Morgan and let us all know how crazy she really was. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So,
yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot to be said for that, right? Because obviously, they're saying that viewers turned into sleuths and they found her through various things that were referenced in the show. Richard Gadd's the kind of guy she should be after, but then again, he doesn't have $50 million, does he?
well, that's right. They've got the money to fork over. He doesn't. But
I just feel like that. How can they? She should really be suing him because he's the creator of the content. All they did was distribute it. Obviously, they are implicit in it, but
right.
That Netflix didn't write the show.
No,
right.
I don't know. I don't know that she has a leg to stand on.
Me either. As I said in my comment, I think she's got bigger fish to fry after that Piers Morgan interview.
I mean, if I write, a movie called The Most Racist Piece of Shit on the Planet, and all they do is just berate everybody but white people, and Netflix is like, okay, we'll run this because it seems provocative. I think Netflix might have to answer some questions about how that reflects on them. So like you said, they've got to be implicit or have some sort of liability in airing it and profiting off of it. But I don't know. I don't. Yeah, like Vera said, I don't think she has much of a leg to stand on, regardless. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
unless her life's been threatened, unless she has to now hire bodyguards and stuff like that, unless there's some damage actually done to her life, then no, I don't think she has. Is she got a security team now because people are threatening her?
Well,
I don't get that from that whole show. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't watching that series. I was never angry with her. You know what I mean? Like, I felt bad for her and him, obviously. Like, that whole situation was just incredibly tragic. So, at no point was I like, oh, we need to stand up for Richard Gadd and, make sure she doesn't do this to anybody else and let's hunt her down and threaten her life. I didn't get any of that from anybody that reviewed the show or that watched it. But so I can't see that being the case. But
it's just really, it's really interesting that's she's kind of put herself in the situation, and now it's as we said at the time, you've gone about this the wrong way. If you knew this was happening, you should have gotten yourself a lawyer and an agent straight away.
Right.
You know
what I mean? She can't. Obviously, she's got no media training.
Piers Morgan and identified herself.
Yeah, exactly. You don't go on Piers, and then she wants more money from Piers Morgan as well. It's you don't get to retroactively. You don't get to retroactively go. Yeah, okay, cool. I get this now. That's not how. That's not how it works, and you can tell that she doesn't know how things work. It's just maybe you need to take care of your mental health first, and let's get your shit together before you try and come for big dogs, because Netflix, I'm sure Netflix have a team of lawyers ready to dig up every last bit of dirt, because
you probably only need the Piers Morgan interview.
Yeah, the language in that statement is telling. She's never been convicted of a crime.
Yeah,
she's obviously
she's never committed.
Doesn't say she's never been arrested, does it? Like, it doesn't say she's never been suspected. It's just she's never been convicted. Interesting choice of words. We love a choice of words. Now, we talked about J-Lo last week, but she seems to be. It's like, let's shit pile on J-Lo at the moment.
All right.
We're back to Jenny, because Jenny. And we were talking about this last week as well. We're talking about her tour and the popularity of her music. She has cancelled. Now this is huge. Like, this is huge. She has cancelled her entire tour. To what is the statement? I'll read a little bit of the statement because it's a bit like, she claims she is heart sick because she is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends.
No mention of her husband.
No mention of her husband.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, very, very weird. Now the conspiracy theorists are all up over it. Is the tour cancellation a smokescreen to hide the relationship problems, or are the relationship problems a smokescreen to hide the career problems, or is it just all happening at once? I think it's just all happening at once.
Yeah, I mean, she seems to be a shit show. You know what I mean? Like, at first you're kind of like, okay, things happen, or whatever. But ever since I saw the cameraman from that documentary come out and be like, it was supposed to be a quick shot, and we recut it 16 times because she didn't like the way her hair looked. It's like, you're supposed to be coming off an exercise. Like, why do you have to be? Ever since I saw that, I was like, I have no respect. Whatever little respect I had is now gone completely. So,
but it was supposed to be like a fly on the wall documentary, and you can't do 15 takes of a fly on the wall documentary. Right.
She did look tired too. Like, in that documentary, she just looked exhausted. So
look, she worked. Look, the one thing you can say about her is that she's a hard worker. She does all that slog herself, and being Jennifer Lopez must be exhausting. She doesn't allow herself to drink. She doesn't allow herself to eat sugar. She doesn't do this, that, the other to have this career. But
she's 54 and she looks like she's 34.
You can't. I guess it proves you just can't force people to like you. Like, you can't be like, I am a celebrity and you will love me. And judging.
I also feel like when you've been the center of attention for so long, even if you're not mentally ill, you tend to expect to be the center of attention forever.
Right.
Yeah, well, she's a capital D diva. Like, she always has been. And I think the reports of her attitude to people, she's going through the Ellen thing now, where people are like, well, J-Lo's a cunt. I was like, well, huge surprise. Like, huge surprise.
Right.
And it's like, and it's I think it's the dissonance between the, diva Hollywood star and, I'm from the block. I'm still from the block, what block exactly?
Rodeo Drive. Is that a block? Is that a block?
Which block? Your private compound? Is that the block? Like, I'm like,
it's a block. It's a block from the street to her house.
She owns the block.
Don't get me wrong. I have seen her live. She puts on a fantastic show. In all her press and everything, she seems very personable and all that kind of stuff. But the way you treat people does come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, right, where everyone is plugged into everybody else. Like, it doesn't take long for word to travel now. It's so it's I don't know, and it goes back to what we talked about a little while ago. I think when we were talking about the Sacha Baron Cohen and Rebel Wilson thing, like, it's okay to appreciate someone's skill or talent, and you don't have to necessarily like them as a person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, one is not exclusive of the other. Like they can be both. So yeah, she could be a total bitch and you could hate her guts. Some of her songs are catchy as shit though, and that's okay.
And there's probably people in this world who she's been wonderful to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Who knows if you're catching her on a bad day?
Nobody's an asshole all the time.
And
right.
I think
I
there
love you
is
people.
there is this misconception that people have to be nice as well. Like if you're successful, like uber successful in any industry, I don't know. You have to have stepped on some necks on the way. Like you've stepped on some toes, you've stepped on some necks to get where you are.
I think that people in our shoes, like the everyday people, want to believe that good things happen to good people. And when you idolize someone, whether it's an athlete or a musician or an actor, when you look up to that person and you hear that they're less than, you're like, oh, that's the reason why the old saying is never meet your idols. Never meet your idols, because they obviously have a public portrayal and then they are who they are. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like you can't ask someone to be different because you had a different expectation of them. But I must get 30 different pages of TikToks a day of celebrities I've met, nice versus mean. And it's like, so-and-so, mean, this one, nice. And I'm like, wow, it's so stupid. But I watch every single one all the way through. I'm like, I knew it.
But then you've got to also go, look, but were you up in that person's ass? And that's why they were like, fucking leave me alone,
right.
dude. Like,
were you the lady that asked Kylie Kelsey for her photo, while she was out to dinner with Jason Kelsey? Or... Oh, I just heard today that it came out that she was knocking on their car window.
Oh my God! And
Kylie got out because she was like, "Oh, come take a picture," And they were like, "What are you doing? Go away!" And then Kylie got out and
Kylie
punched her in the face.
Anything that horrible?
No, not at all.
She said, "I can smell the alcohol on your breath and you're embarrassing yourself." Yeah. I mean, everybody says normally in these circumstances, any other celebrity, you're like, oh, what an asshole. They're so mean. How do you do that in public? It's like one of the few times they're like, no, they're absolutely right. And you're the jerk. I mean, when the mayor comes out and apologizes for his citizens, it's got to be something legit. So,
oh, dear.
I digress. I apologize.
Yes, that's okay. That's why we're uncensored.
Yeah. Look, we are. Yeah, we pull some punches sometimes. We get riled up and feisty. Someone who did get quite riled up and feisty this week is Adele. Did you guys see this clip?
Oh, good.
I did. Only what you posted. Yeah.
It's gone a bit viral on TikTok. Adele has had a bit of a moment at her show. I don't know why you would go to an Adele show and say anything, because she's the kind of person that'll pull you up. But someone yelled out. She was talking about pride, and because she does. This is like a weekends kind of thing. She doesn't like. It's not super serious. Someone yelled "Pride sucks" after she mentioned it was Pride Month, and she went in. She goes, "Did you come to my fucking show to say Pride sucks? Are you fucking stupid? Don't be so fucking ridiculous. If you have nothing nice to say, then shut up, all right?" And you should hear the audience. The audience go crazy for it. It's just like,
I mean, what was that? A couple of months ago at one of her shows, where the security was trying to get that guy to sit down in the aisle, and she was like, "If he wants to stand and dance, let him stand and dance. Like, what do you get your hands off the guy?" So she's not afraid to stop her show and let the crowd know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I love her. And I think that's because she has come up. Adele has famously come up, from being working class, and then is now this megastar. She is still very much in touch with people. I know that she does have her moments where she is, it's not the right temperature and all that kind of stuff. We've all read those ones, but more like she seems like she's still got a foot in reality. And Pride Month always brings out a bit of drama everywhere, because why is there a straight Pride Month?
Do you really need it?
It's just like, how about every other day?
Somebody shut you in a closet, make you cry, call you names.
They get upset. But I'm surprised that the amount of, we've talked about it too, the amount of behavior that people think that they can get away with at concerts these days like towards the act on stage, like
Right.
throwing shit at them and like trying to pull them off stage. It's like you're there to see them. Like, why are you trying to fucking kill people or stop the show or like?
Mhm.
You see it a lot on TikTok, though. I have a lot of stand-up comedians on TikTok, and you see people like, you know, in their crowd work, shouting out, trying to be part of the show. It's just like,
Right.
if you're that desperate for attention, you get up there and do it. Like, no
Pink
one's
is
stopping
one
you
who
from
will
trying to have a
never
career.
hesitate to stop a show. Have you seen any of the clips of Pink?
Oh,
She
Pink,
stopped-
Pink will
Yeah,
stop the
she
show.
stopped the show because there was a little girl crying in the front row. She stopped the show because she saw a commotion in the back and some woman had gone into labor. You know,
Yeah.
Pink won't hesitate to stop a show.
Wow.
It's nice to see they pay attention, though, like with that many thousands of people around that you're like, oh, you can actually see us.
maybe
Because
they really
sometimes
do
you're in
see
that
you,
sea of
yeah.
people going, oh, she waved at me. Oh, she might have actually waved at me. That's that's cool.
Well, just so y'all know, if I ever got famous and I was standing on a stage, I wouldn't see anything because I would, once I take my glasses off, y'all look like a big blur.
She's blinded.
Yeah.
You've all need some
Y'all
some
blurry.
laser help. That's all
You
good.
could have a baby on stage next to me and I wouldn't know what was going on.
From one rock and roll act to the next. Now, I don't know if you guys would know who Taylor Momsen is, but Taylor Momsen is an actress slash singer slash musician. She was Jenny Humphrey in Gossip Girl, but she is the lead singer of The Pretty Reckless. And she had a pretty reckless encounter with a bat in Lisbon.
Yeah, saw that.
That's craziness. So she was, her and her band were opening for AC/DC, which, hello, that's pretty good. I love The Pretty Reckless. I love them. They're so good. And you wouldn't think it's my kind of music, but I really enjoy their band. But
was she Cindy Lou Who in the
yes,
Doctor?
she was Cindy Lou Who,
was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I saw it when I saw that article. That's how they reference her. But crazy.
And the only reason she even knew about it was that people were yelling and pointing at her. But because it wasn't, an English-speaking crowd, she's like, "What are you guys saying? I don't understand. Like, what are you saying?" And then she's like, "There's a fucking bat on me. Someone help me!"
Oh my god,
They
crazy.
say in all of our little in-services for rabies every spring that bats' teeth are so sharp you can't tell if you've been bitten or not.
Really?
That's terrifying.
So if you have a bat in your house, you should get the shot. And the shot is horrible. It's a series of 7 shots in the belly, very painful. It's
Why the belly?
I don't know why the belly,
Fat.
but they are
Most
get
fat,
it down
probably.
The Ozzy Osbourne jokes are prevalent. She should have for Ozzy. Yeah,
I think
Ozzy would have.
The shots after he bit the bat's head off. I think he did have to get the shots.
Well, you'd have to. Well, I haven't stopped Ozzy. Look at Ozzy's still fucking kicking after.
I fucking love him. He is. I love watching anything he does. I get a kick out. He's phenomenal.
I'll still watch a bit of Ozzy. Like I know that the Osbournes can be problematic, but they're
fuck
hilarious.
that. They are
I
hilarious.
loved the Osbourne family. What was their
show?
The show, yeah.
That was the best.
On travel, I think on Thursdays. Was it on today? No, maybe tomorrow. During the afternoon, they run the Osbournes Believe or whatever, and it's Sharon, Ozzy, and Jack. It's a fucking great show. Like I just love the banter between the three of them. I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah,
because they're just down to earth people. Like they don't give a shit. That's great.
Yeah. I just loved him running through the house. Sharon.
Yeah.
You'll be done for manslaughter. Classic reality TV show there. Like that's remember when reality TV was reality TV? Like it was kind of real back in the day. It's I like that. Now we've got more onstage antics with Troye Sivan, Australia's own Troye Sivan, causing a bit of a hullabaloo for his debut of his new tour in Lisbon by performing alleged lewd acts on stage. Now, I didn't post the image on our Facebook page because we have a little bit of a rough association with Facebook. So I'm going to show you guys. Are you offended by this? So for those of you that can't see, it is a male dancer holding a microphone at his crutch height. Troy is on his knees in front of the male dancer, about to start a song. So the article alleges that it is a simulated sex act and so embarrassing that there are children in the audience. There shouldn't be.
There shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
right.
We've
Again, I don't know why there's
he's an
people bring their
openly out and active queer person. It's his show. The album is about gay sex, and his whole experience, coming out in queer life and all that kind of stuff. Why are you? You're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place.
doing?
He's not a Disney star.
Where was this concert that they were upset about it? In Australia?
It's in Lisbon.
In Lisbon. Okay. That's Portugal? Is that Portugal? Am I right?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
It's
Yeah.
Okay.
inviting him. There you go.
So I don't understand why the Grammys can put on national television wet ass pussy, and that's fine. But
Right.
the minute somebody makes any sort of phallic image, between with a homosexual guy, now this is just too far. This is too much.
Not nearly as
offensive.
Catholic as the Portuguese.
Just but even still, like, come on, like, right? Like, if you're concerned with the content of the show, then don't let them fucking put on the show. I'm sure he would have been fine if Lisbon was like, we really just would rather have you not perform here. No problem. Next city, where am I going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, you're not doing anybody any favors. You know what I mean? But it's on in the next one. And like, who gives a fuck if you're offended? That doesn't mean anything. I don't understand why everybody has the right to be like, oh, well, that offends me, so now you have to shut the fuck up. No, you're offended.
Right?
Great. Now on to my next joke.
Move
Then.
on.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais has a great interview with that, where he's like, if like offensive means nothing to me. He goes, you know who I am. Don't come into my show if you're offended by anything I have to say. Like,
Right.
what you're offended to it makes no difference in my life. Sorry.
Right.
Right.
So if you don't like the content, then ignore it. Go somewhere else.
Right.
Look somewhere else.
And it just
Fucking
feels
people,
like
man.
everyone trots out there's children in the audience. Well, then why? Why are there children in the audience? Why?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's
Right, yeah, right. No accountability for the parents. Kid's gonna end up wandering into a zoo at 9 years old and fucking ripping the heads off of ducks and groundhogs, and we're gonna wonder where all the bodies are hidden.
that story really resonated with you, didn't it, Tim? Go back to it.
Anybody that hates, first of all, I'm a big serial killer guy, and two, I hate kids who hurt animals. Can't do it.
I love that I've made an impact in your life. It's just like the psyches just keep going. The fucking kid.
Fuck that kid. Fuck the middle.
Wasn't a Disney prince. He didn't come up on Nickelodeon. Why would they
No.
think it's appropriate for children?
No, because it's appropriate on Nickelodeon. I wouldn't be shocked if he was doing it and he came up on Nickelodeon. We saw Quiet on Set, for Christ's sakes. We know what they were doing.
But yeah, look, I feel like every couple of years there's drama. Like, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when Adam Lambert first, came off Island and kissed someone on stage, and it was like a whole kissed another man on stage. It was so dramatic, and it was like the end of his career, and we had to black out, and he had to come and make a formal apology. This has been happening in music since time immemorial. Look at Madonna. Back in the day,
Madonna's
masturbating on stage, or fake masturbating on stage. Elvis's gyrating hips causing people to swoon. Back to even segregation of different skin colors because you can't listen to that music. It'll drive you crazy, etc., etc. I don't know. There is so much choice in the world today. You don't have to partake in anything you don't want to partake in. It's
yeah. I'm tired of hearing the "I'm offended" line. Like you said, it's just enough is enough. If you're offended, change the goddamn channel. Move the fuck on. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore.
As Dogsy just said, the children in the audience think Ellen introduced two children to Nicki Minaj. You know, it's not. You can't pick and choose, and especially when it comes to, it's because he's a queer artist. Let's not pretend. Like if it was, you know, a rap show and it was a female, you know, and if it was a rapper holding his junk and a microphone, and there was a female,
and a girl was on her knees.
It wouldn't be a story.
Wouldn't be a problem with it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
it wouldn't be a
a
story.
girl on her knees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Nobody
like,
would say
that's
anything.
expected. That's fine. We'll be okay with that. But we don't have to be. It's like, this is the thing. You don't have to be okay with status quo and stuff like that, because Taylor, the girl of the moment, Taylor Swift, has come to Lady Gaga's defense over some pregnancy rumors. Now, I think she hits it on the head. Taylor says, "Can we all agree that it is invasive and irresponsible to comment on a woman's body? Gaga doesn't owe anyone any explanation, and neither does any woman." I think, of course, you never know people's fertility journey, you know, their parenting journey. You don't know that kind of information. So to comment on that, I never do. I think it's irresponsible because you don't know that. But in general, I think we should be in a place where we don't talk about anyone's bodies anymore.
Yeah,
like,
there's so
fuck
much
off.
tied up into body shaming. It's like if Gaga is pregnant, that's her information to announce or to keep quiet. You don't have to speculate because of the shape of her belly, nor Taylor Swift's belly, or any woman's belly. You know?
Just because Taylor's been on holiday. Taylor's had a break in her tour. She might have enjoyed her break, and then she's back on stage in a leotard. Heaven forbid. Everyone's like, oh, baby. It's like, you can't do that.
Women have bellies.
And you're not showing until at least 3 or 4 months, if that. Actually, probably not even, probably 5 or 6 months. Like, seriously, do people not fucking know? Like, or is the public as a whole that motherfucking dumb that they would assume that this person would be showing after 2 fucking weeks? Like, that's what pisses me off too. It's like you said, Taylor has a break. She goes back onto the stage and she's in her leotard, and okay, she gained a cool 5 pounds while she was having a goddamn burger, or she had a big dinner the night before. For Christ's sake. Like you had all those carbs and shit. Leave her the fuck alone. What does it matter? I want to see the bitch in the audience that's my size get in a fucking leotard and do what the fuck Taylor does. Like, I could never. Like, it's just. It's so annoying.
We had this conversation.
People get picked on. Fat people get picked on. Everybody gets picked on, and it's ridiculous. Like,
we had this conversation about Travis as well. Remember a couple of weeks ago when there were those beach shots of him, you know, having a dad bod. I'm like, if that's a dad bod,
then
I must be a different species. Like,
sign me up for that.
Right.
That dad's bod's worth a couple of $1 a year. I don't give a shit.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Like, you just keep catching touchdowns. I don't give a fuck what you eat or what you look like.
Yeah. You just keep being exceptionally good at your job, you know? You know, fuck everyone else.
Football players in the NFL, there's a lot more dad bods in the NFL than Travis. You know?
Right?
For real.
Like Lizzo, okay? Lizzo, as an example, she wants to step back because of all the hate that she's getting because of her weight. And South Park goes and does this fucking skit about, yes, it was funny, I agree.
It was funny.
But instead of Ozempic, it's Lizzo. And it's like, I just don't think that... Again, it's a comedy show. I get it. Like, you know, South Park.
South Park is satire.
Everybody, exactly. But again, as a whole, that ain't right. Like, it shouldn't be that it would take her off stage. You know, like, that's a whole different, like, mental.
Well, female celebrities of size get a lot of shit when they lose weight. Look at Rebel Wilson. Look at Adele.
Kelly Clarkson's copping it.
Yeah.
When they lose
Whoopi
weight,
Goldberg.
like, oh, you've deserted us. Oh, you know.
Like, how dare you lose weight?
They don't owe you anything.
Right. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right. It's a lose-lose situation. That's what's unfortunate about it. You know what I mean? But it's I don't know. Like, the Lizzo thing surprised me because she was like so proud about it. You know, like I am who I am, and I don't care. I don't care. It's all. I mean, it's a very specific example. I'm not painting this over everybody, but it was almost like she picked a fight. You know what I mean? Where she was like, I don't care. Like I'll put it in your face. And people fired back, and then she couldn't handle being fired back on. It was kind of like, oh shit!
Right.
Like I opened up a can of worms I might not be able to handle. Not saying that's right. Not saying she shouldn't be ashamed. What's that?
Is that really how that went down, though? I mean,
No, I don't think it. I think it's just the relentless nature of it because everyone was like, okay, cool, body acceptance. The tide turned on Lizzo when the allegations of her fat shaming people came out.
Yes.
Like that's when the tide turned on Lizzo with the whole dancer lawsuit. And I get that, and it's bad optics because you know that's what this whole show is about. You know, we are viewing pop culture through the spectrum at which it presents itself. So it's bad optics for someone who is body positive to criticize other people's bodies.
Right.
it's not good.
I've seen a clip from a podcast. You know, one of those like little snippets that pops up on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And it was a guy and a girl, and she was heavy set, and he was average. You know, he wasn't like fit or anything. But he was talking. They were just having a conversation, and she was like, "Oh, she's like, your nose is weird," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "I don't know. You look like a Dr. Seuss character or something. Like you're." She goes, "I don't know. It's just distracting me." And he's like, "Oh," and he goes, "Well, I think you look like Lizzo." And she's like, "Well, you know," he's like, "Oh, so body shaming is okay until it turns to weight." You know, and I was like, this. You know, that's I don't know.
I don't think it's okay either. I think they're both.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he was saying like, well, why is it okay for you to point it out to me, but if I say it to you because it's about weight, now it's an issue. You know what I mean? So like, I find that whole dynamic kind of strange. I don't know.
In this day and age, in this day and age where we are so, well, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's faux concern, you know, it's hot button issues. It's, you know, if I press this button, people will react. It's so worried about everyone's mental health and, you know, well-being and all that kind of stuff. To comment on anyone's physical appearance is damaging, can be damaging. And you don't know what struggles that person has gone through. Fat, thin, hot, ugly, whatever you think of someone is irrelevant. It should be what that person thinks of themselves, but that's not the world that we live in, sadly.
Right.
Well,
yeah, right.
it kind of is. It kind of isn't. But I'm gonna call out the British right now. In the pop culture of Britain, if somebody calls you fit, it means you're skinny. It does not mean that you're healthy. And
she's well fit.
She's fit. It's like
she's well fit, man.
You don't know if she's fit. You got her vital statistics? No, you're not checking her blood pressure. You're just checking her waistline. All
well,
right,
this is what happens when, you know, we base shit off BMIs that mean nothing. Like it means nothing. Yeah. It's just like we're feeding into the culture that wants to destroy us. It's like we're in this cycle of
insurance companies.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
That's why there's a BMI.
Guy who grabbed my leg and said, "You know I love you, but you're gonna wreck your body." He's dead. I'm not.
Yeah, you motherfucker. Yeah, there you go. Dogsy says, end of the day, there is a way to comment on it if you are genuinely concerned without being a cunt. It's easy to embrace. It also doesn't mean skinny means sexy in general.
All right.
Yeah, I had this. I shared this a couple. I think it's when we were talking about Travis Kelce. You just don't know what triggers people, and again, I'm one of these people that like your triggers are your business. Like you've got to exist in a world, but people going out of their way to mention stuff like when they're like, "Oh, you look healthy." It's like, so what are you trying to say? Just say it.
Yeah.
If you want to, or like big. I hate it when people call me big fella. I'm like, yes, fat. Okay, cool. Next, like, like just don't say it. Like,
there's this woman that I work. There's a woman that I know, and she's very opinionated. She doesn't really know what she's saying when she says it, right? Because that's just how she talks. And the other day, this girl was telling us a story about how she was walking her dog, who had just gained a couple of pounds. She's grown a lot since she's gotten the dog, right? the dog has grown a lot. And they were walking down the street, and she said that the neighbor had said something like, "Oh my God, she's gotten so big!" Like, and the girl had said like she felt bad because like the poor dog, and this woman that were telling the story, the girl was telling the story to was like, you should have been like, well, that's offensive to me, like, or like, I hope like she said, I hope you're talking about the dog, like, and the girl who was telling the story is also overweight. So when I heard it, I was like, I was sitting at my desk, and I'm thinking to myself, so and so, you can't say that. But I didn't say it, and I felt bad for the girl in front of me who was telling the story because again, she's overweight, she's trying to lose weight, she's in a thing right now. I felt awful, and I couldn't say anything because I had to act like I wasn't listening in on their conversation. But again, like it's just wrong. Like some people just don't know, and it's just that person and who she is and how she talks. Again, it's just she doesn't know what she's saying when she says it, but. That one offhand comment, I'm like, damn,
I don't know.
like,
I think ignorance is a bit of a cop out. It's just like saying bigoted people are of their time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're just of their time. No,
Yeah.
they're closed-minded assholes. Like the world, like if there are like 90-year-olds that can accept that someone might not feel comfortable in the body that they're born in and can celebrate that, then a 50-year-old white man can. Like, you know what? It's not changing your life to what someone else believes. So the ignorance thing is, I don't buy that. You can go fuck. As far as I'm concerned,
it's just that. It's just like half of the time.
Well, then she'll probably get a bit of a wake up call one day from someone. I'm sure. She's
older too. She's an older woman. Like she's more seasoned than us. But everything. I mean, every conversation out of her mouth is about weight. Everything, and she's not. I don't want to say she's skinny, but she's a healthy woman.
Right.
And
outwardly appears healthy.
Right, exactly. So I don't, I don't know why she's so self-conscious about every little thing, but again, every conversation is about weight. And I've said it a couple times, like if she thinks she's overweight, then she must think I'm a goddamn whale waddling in here, like, and so I could just imagine, what she really thinks about all of us girls that she works with, but
you'll drive yourself crazy thinking like that. Yeah. It's just like it's not the way of the world. You'll be like,
I've known her for too long.
All right, we've got some big questions on the view from here. So divorce is never an easy subject, especially when there are children involved, and the Pitt Jolie family are going through it, famously because of Brad's alleged, drug use and drug and alcohol use, violence, and
he's admitted it. I don't think we have to call it alleged at this point.
Well, the domestic violence is alleged unless there's a police report. This is Shiloh. Now Shiloh has
she's so beautiful.
Well, we are uncertain what Shiloh's. So Shiloh Pitt, Shiloh Jolie House is how she would like to be known because she has actually appealed to change her name.
Didn't her older brother do legally that too? Didn't her older brother?
So this is official. Like she just turned 18, officially becoming an adult. She had hired her own lawyer, so it wasn't done via mum. Mm-hmm. This is their eldest child, biological child together, and she is making the stand to remove her father's name from hers, legally separating them.
Wow,
it's tricky because my parents split up when I was, of age, and it makes you grow up even more because you're supposed to, you see your parents as your parents, and then you have to go, oh, okay, they're people, they're human beings that, have their own feelings and lives, and you know, things are complicated for them too. It's not just mum and dad. It's a really tricky situation, but she obviously has made, or she feels she's made her own informed decision to extricate herself from her father, which, you know, can't be easy for him, no matter what's happened. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Any advice?
I
Any
think
kind
it's
of, you know?
incredibly sad, but I hope that they find a way to reconcile.
And even if they don't reconcile, I think understanding is probably, you know, you don't have to love what people do.
No.
But if you can go away to understanding their situation, I went through this with my parents. Like, I was very much, you know, one-sided and was quite venomous and you know, did all the things that I thought I needed to do. And then with time, and as you grow older and you understand and you can have some kind of empathy, you go, well, it's not always black and white. It's not always a black and white situation. There are always extenuating circumstances that make you really, or hopefully would make you question things as you grow yourself. But that's just my experience. I don't know.
I was a teenager the first time my parents split, and I remember thinking, "Oh, thank God the fighting has stopped."
See, I was 2 when they separated. I was 7 when the divorce was final. But I mean, you talk about like growing up early. You know, in my stepdaughter's lives, their mother's parents are still together. Their father's parents are still together. So none of their lineage comes from divorced parents.
Yeah.
So they've come to me a couple of times and been like, you know, or they've actually told the therapist that they like talking to me about it because they know that I come from a divorced family and I've had to deal with what they're going through. They will never have to deal with what I went through. And I'm only saying that because my father was verbally, physically abusive, alcoholic. I mean, from the time that I could remember, you know, hitting my mother, hitting my grandmother, coming home drunk constantly, just bad. I mean, he would, when we didn't have a babysitter or my mom worked her second job, he would take me to the bar and I'd watch him get in fights. And, you know, I mean, at 9 years old, I remember hustling a pool table in the local bar while he was drunk in the bathroom, you know. So it does. It made me responsible for my little sister because my mom had to work 3 jobs once he left. And, you know, I had to grow up quick. You know, I was at 10, 11, 12 years old. My mom was already out the door for work at 5 a.m. So it was my job to get my sister up, get my sister dressed, get my sister fed, get her on the bus, get her off the bus, get her fed when she got home, prepare dinner, and whichever way that meant. My mother would be in for 10 minutes to change for her second job, and then she was back out the door, and she wasn't home till after I was in bed, you know, and that was life. And I wouldn't change it for a fucking thing. Would not change it for one thing, because it's who I am today. It's who my family is today, and it's given me life experience, which a lot of people unfortunately can't say that they have. And I think that really does make a difference out in the world and dealing with people, you know.
By the same token, the strife ended because your father wasn't there to beat up people, you know?
No, he was constantly back in our lives because our mother was weak. So there'd be times where he'd like pop in and I wouldn't see him for 5 years. But my mother wasn't in a good spot. She ended up being a prescription drug abuser to the point she had us all convinced that she was on MS when she was high because she wasn't talking clearly and things like that. And it took her going through 2 couple stints of rehab, but that wasn't until I was older. I was in my early 20s when she finally decided to go through all that. And it's just it never ended. I mean, we saw it. You know, it was a constant in our lives growing up. And it took me getting in a fist fight with my father when I was like 22 years old. And I broke his ribs and I blew his knee out on the steps in a fight in front of my grandmother at like 2 a.m. And I cried for 2 days, locked myself in my room. My grandma was like, "You got to come downstairs. You got to come downstairs." And my father never apologized. He just said, "I guess I'm older than I thought." That was his excuse for losing the fight.
Jesus.
You know, so it was like, okay. And now I'm like 4 inches taller than him and outweigh him by about 80 pounds. So it had nothing to do with his age, but it's just one of those things like I've just dealt with my entire life. But now that I'm older, I don't look at him as a father anymore. I'm not afraid of him anymore. Like and I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Like he's had a fucking tough go of it too. You know what I mean? Like he had to deal with his own shit, and he's dealing with his demons. So I just want to have a relationship with him before it's too late because he's not well. So I try to see him when I can. And yeah, he didn't come to our wedding. I was there the day before, and I was like, look, I can drive you. I got a suit for you. Like it was like, yeah, I'll get a ride. And then he didn't show up. But I wasn't disappointed because I've just learned to not be. But
exactly.
Again,
But
I'm off on a tangent. It's hard. I don't envy her, in the situation she's in. But she's an adult and by law, and she's made up her mind and her decision. And hopefully, she does come to some sort of understanding where she doesn't hate her father for whatever happened. She understands that he was going through something, right, wrong, or indifferent. There was extenuating circumstances there, and you just hope that they can. If Angelina and him never do, then that's on them. They've made their choices. You just don't want to see the children suffer for the rest of their lives with it. You hope they have some sort of relationship. So
yeah. Beautifully put, Tim. Beautifully put. I really like that. That was really good.
Heterosexual male Republican.
I think that's the kind of thing.
Feelings.
He has feelings. It's just it's always, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or or a regular Joe. This is hard stuff. When a family breaks down, it's never easy on anyone, no matter what you think it is. So healing vibes to them, no matter what you think of them and how their family began and all that kind of stuff. That is irrelevant. I think people we gotta go back to the people of people. We all got feelings. We all go through shit. I'm very peace and love today, aren't I?
Can you imagine? Imagine if the lady at Starbucks was repping him. That you find out about that. Oh, Brad Pitt's a real asshole. Yeah, he just found out his daughter's taking his wife's last name. Like, cut the guy a break. It was a rough day.
Someone who
now I know why.
Someone who is always full of opinion and quite steamy as well. If we're talking about Starbucks, would be our very own Vera, because she likes to vent in a section that we like to call, ironically, Vera Vents. Okay, ladies, here we go. 3, 2, 1, then.
Hello, everybody. I am going to probably shock a few people with today's event. We all know that today is the 80th anniversary of D-Day. On June 6, 1944, the Allied forces stormed the beach at Normandy and turned the tide of World War II, effectively beginning the end for Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler. We all know the story. Germans held the high ground. The Allied forces were landing on a strip of beach. They were getting the first boats that came in were having 90% casualty rates. These young men fought bravely and won the day. They landed and parachuted in the middle of the night, and of the 150,000 troops, 100,000 were injured and 30,000 died. It is a day of great heroism and a day to be remembered. It was called the Great Crusade, and in the words of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the eyes of the world were on this day. But today, I read something, and I want to read it to you. It is from the New York Times. I'm probably going to shock a bunch of people because it was written by one and only Mitch McConnell, minority leader of the Senate here in the United States. But I want to share you Mitch's thoughts because I think it's really important at this time in the world history to remember what happened on D-Day and the echoes that we see in the present day. So, excerpted from Mitch's letter to the New York Times today. On this day, and I promise I won't try not to read it with the Mitch McConnell impression. In 1944, the liberation of Western Europe began with immense sacrifice. In a tribute delivered 40 years later at the Normandy Cliff, President Ronald Reagan reminded us that the boys of Pointe du Hoc were the heroes who helped end the war. The last detail was worth some reflection because we are in the danger of forgetting why it matters. American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines joined allies and took the fight to the Axis powers, not as a first instinct, but as a last resort. They ended a war that the free world's inaction had left them no choice but to fight. We forget how influential isolationists persuaded millions of Americans that the fate of the Allies and our partners mattered little to our own security and prosperity. We gloss over the powerful political forces that downplayed growing dangers, resisted providing assistance, and tried to limit any assistance provided. Today, America and our allies face some of the gravest threats to our security since the Axis forces marched across Europe and the Pacific. And these threats grow. Some of the same forces that hampered our response in the 1930s have reemerged. I'm skipping a bunch because Mitch lays out his plan for military proliferation, and I'm not on board with that, but here at home, we face problems of our own. Some vocal corners of the American right are trying to resurrect the discredited brand of pre-war isolationism and deny basic values of alliance and a system that has kept post-war peace. This dangerous proposition rivals America's left's long-standing allergy to military buildup. It should not take another catastrophic attack like Pearl Harbor to wake today's isolationists up from the delusion that regional conflicts have no consequences on the world stage. With global power and global interest comes global responsibilities. And so I join in Mitch to say, wake up. There is an axis of evil out there, and it's very much similar to pre-war or World War II. So honor our troops by not repeating it.
Look, I think we've always discussed. I think no matter what side of arguments you're on, I think anyone who is willing to lay down their lives for their country deserves respect, no matter what you think. So, thanks for that, B. We are going to end.
I'm a military family. There's my dad.
We're going to end on some happier news. We have to say Mazel to Rupert Murdoch. My God, at 93 years old, Rupert Murdoch is getting married again for the 5th time. Now, his lovely bride is 67 years old. Look at her. I don't look that good now. And, I suppose I'm not a molecular biologist either, you know. Mazel to Mr. Murdoch, we say. Like, he's had a bit, like Jerry Hall. Like, come on.
There's a bunch of women who thought they could outlive him and haven't.
Yeah, he's just not dying. That's the Australian in him. He's stubborn. He's stubborn.
What happens when you sell your soul to the devil for eternal wealth and life?
I think he's drinking. I'm
billionaire tyrant Rupert Murdoch. I just love the Simpsons. I'm billionaire tyrant Rupert Murdoch. It's amazing. But did you guys, for some feel good love and excitement, did you guys happen to catch the magic that went on The View this week?
I
celebrating
saw the clip.
Celebrating the 30th anniversary. That's right. We are all old as dust of Sister Act 2. Some of the cast came to The View to perform.
Oh, cool.
The hit songs from the show, Joyful, Joyful, and Oh Happy Day. And it was, I got a little bit like, oh. I am not a religious person at all. But even at the end, Whoopi Goldberg broke down in tears, and I was like, oh, there are still nice things in we can still have nice things. We can still have nice memories about things that were nice. You know,
was Lauryn Hill there? Was
she
Lauryn
was
Hill
not.
there?
Lauryn Hill's actually working at the moment. She's on tour. Who knew?
Oh, I thought you were going to say McDonald's.
No, she's
Yeah,
working.
same.
She's actually doing what she's supposed to do. She's touring and singing. Who knew? Lauryn Hill's
Yeah.
working, but it was a good little button on a week to go. Oh,
Yeah.
nostalgia. Happy.
Joy.
Oh my god, we got a bot. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbot, etc. The
What's
price
that?
is lower than any competitor, and the
Lower.
quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible, convenient order management panel, chat panel, everything
Who
is
doing?
in your
Oh my
hands.
God.
A huge number of settings. Go to Streamwise. Thank you, unopened sync. I don't know where you came from, but I love a bot. It makes me so happy. But we've made it to the end of another week. I am joyful about it. We are ready to shake off the shackles of shit this weekend. Shimmy into the weekend. Oh,
Wow, you
Christina,
really
you have to report back next week.
I know. We
Oh
want,
my God,
we
it's
want
gonna
a
be
few lives if you can do
that
That'd be
should be a
interesting.
lot of fun.
any falling down needs to be reported.
I expect some TikToks
yeah.
to be generated
Don't you
this
worry.
weekend.
That will happen. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I will see him, and
I'm gonna have to
something
pop
will be
in.
made.
Let me know when he's there so I can pop in and say hello.
He's not coming here. He's out in the Hamptons. He's staying out in the Hamptons.
That's right. We're all
So.
gonna
Who gives a shit?
look,
Fuck that.
and
That's not Long Island.
to drop
I said
a little
he should
teaser.
stop here on the way. You know.
To drop a little teaser, we might all have to see each other in October for something.
That's what I'm saying.
My first
And
anniversary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Really?
Trust me, it's gonna be terrifying.
Okay, ladies and gents, thanks for joining us. It has been amazing. Tim, Christina, Vera, I have been Steve, and we'll be uncensored this time again next week. Go find yourself a 93-year-old billionaire, people. It's the road to
I'm
happiness.
looking.